This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutastrophe. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. This time is a birthday boy, unlike my intro to the last video. Now, of course, January 31st had some great players, and I did a few birthday boys throughout the years. But yeah, you know Jackie Robinson, and obviously he's dead and all that before you say that. But anyhow, Jackie Robinson was born on this day, January 31st, 1919. So if he was alive, he'd be 104 years old. And of course, he died in 1972. But the fact of the matter is that there's no living people who had January 31st. You're thinking Nolan Ryan? Well, I already did him 2 years ago. So anyhow, Jackie Robinson, I have to do a video on him. I mean, I've got to do a birthday boy on him, no matter what happens. So anyway, Jackie Robinson was an iconic man. He was born into a family of sharecroppers in Georgia, the youngest of 5 children, because there was Edgar, Frank, Matthew, and Willa May. His middle name of Roosevelt was in honor of Theodore Roosevelt. Anyway, the Robinsons would move to Pasadena after Robinson's family left the family. So they managed to make themselves known in Pasadena. Robinson and his minority friends were excluded from many recreational opportunities because of the racist undertones, if you will. He joined a neighborhood gang, but he abandoned it. He would graduate from junior high school and would pursue his love of sports. The thing is, Mac Robinson, one of Jackie's older brothers, actually competed in the 1936 Summer Olympics and took a silver medal, which was pretty good. So Robinson played numerous sports at the varsity level and got letters in football, basketball, track, and baseball. So he looked pretty good, all that. He played in a famous Panoma baseball tournament and was actually on an all-star team alongside Ted Williams and Bob Lemon, future Hall of Famers. That. Pasadena liked him. He went to Pasadena Junior College, getting his athletic scholarship job and all that. So anyway, a fractured ankle would ruin his football stuff for Jackie Robinson. But he looked pretty good. All that. Anyway. So Jackie ended up going from Pasadena Junior College onto UCLA. And it worked. He enrolled at UCLA and won varsity letters in baseball, basketball, football, and track, just like he did in high school. And, UCLA was just like shocking and all that. He was one of 4 black players on the UCLA 1939 squad that went undefeated, although they had 4 ties and all of that. But he actually led the NCAA in football in punt return average for the 39-40 season, which was amazing. All that. He won the 1940 NCAA long jump championship. And baseball was Robinson's fourth sport at UCLA. He didn't hit that well. But as a senior, he met his future wife, Rachel, who is still alive to this day, and she's almost 101 years old. Robinson would leave college just shy of graduation and became an assistant athletic director with the National Youth Administration. And then Robinson would go to Honolulu to play football for a semi-pro team, and then came back to Los Angeles for the Pacific Coast Football League. And basically, Robinson's football career would end because of the attack on Pearl Harbor, meaning that he was doomed to go to the Army. But he was drafted and assigned to Fort Riley in Kansas. So, anyway, they were actually admitted to officer candidate school. It was kind of the help of Joe Louis, who was the heavyweight boxing champion too. He became a second lieutenant in 1943. So he was reassigned to Fort Hood, Texas. And his military career would be derailed July 1944. While waiting results of hospital tests on the ankle, Robinson boarded an army bus with a fellow officer's wife. The bus driver ordered Robinson to move to the back of the bus, but Robinson refused. He was allowed to, but the military police took him into custody at the end of the line. And it looked like he would be court-martialed. But Robinson's commander refused to court-martial him, so he was transferred to the 758th thing. And he was charged with multiple offenses and all that. By the time of his court-martial hearing in August 1944, he only had 2 charges of insubordination. But the all-white panel acquitted him of it. He never saw combat action because of his court-martial thing, which kind of was a blessing in disguise. So he went to the Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro Leagues. They were still around. So, anyway. It worked out quite well. So he was in the minor league. So he went to Kansas City to play in the Negro Leagues. And all that. He didn't like the experience. He said it was a structure. He liked the structured playing environment in college, and the Negro League's disorganization and embrace of gambling appalled him. But anyway, he did play for Kansas City for 47 games, and he wanted to pursue a major league interest, but the major leagues were not open to black players whatsoever. Anyway, Boston tried to have tryouts for black players, but it didn't go over so well, the way the tryouts were. In fact, Boston became the last major league team to integrate its roster, which was shocking that it was Boston and not a team from down south. Well, anyway. However, Branch Rickey, president and GM of the Brooklyn Dodgers, wanted to scout the Negro Leagues to help Brooklyn out. And he interviewed Jackie Robinson. The plan was for Rickey to put Jackie Robinson at the International League Farm Club, the main farm club, Brooklyn, the Montreal Royals. Yes, Montreal had a minor league team. Rickey wanted Robinson to stand up and to withstand the racial abuse and not fight back. Anyway, Robinson said he would turn the other cheek and all that. So he formally signed Robinson late 1945 and put him in Montreal in 1946. Signed that contract. The International League. This was the first time a black baseball player was there. He was not the best player in the Negro Leagues, and people like Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson were upset that Robinson was selected first. Fair enough, I get it. Larry Doby was heartbroken too. So anyway, he got married to Rachel February 1946, and then in late 46, he went to spring training in Daytona Beach alongside the other Dodger affiliates. So anyway, of course, Florida was racially segregated, and he didn't have much things and all that. So anyway, yeah, a lot of southern Florida cities didn't want Jackie to play, even in an exhibition and all that. Anyway, he was soon moved to second base. His first game as a Montreal Royal was in Jersey City against the Giants, and the pillar barrier was broken. Montreal won the game 14-1. He actually led the International League with a 349 batting average and an 985 fielding percentage. It was named MVP. Of course, he had hostility on road trips. The Montreal fan base supported Robinson, mostly because Canada was not as hatred towards blacks as the U.S. were in the 40s. Still, I mean, Canada wasn't perfect, but still didn't matter. It moved huge. 1 million fans went to games involving Jackie Robinson, both at home and on the road. Montreal won the International League and won the Little World Series, as in the Minor League World Series title. Anyway, the Dodgers called Jackie up to the Major League 6 days before the start of the season. Jackie would play first base with Eddie Stanky on second base. And on April 15th, 1947, he made his Major League debut. He was 28. It looked advanced, but he was at Ebbets Field in front of 26,000 fans. And more than 50% of them were black. He didn't get a hit, but the Dodgers won the game 5-3. And the fans wanted to see the Dodgers play and all that. There was a lot of mixed reception among his teammates and all that. There was even talk about Brooklyn signing a petition to ban Jackie, but Pee Wee Reese, the captain and the most respected shortstop around, ripped it up, saying, "You will not do that." Of course, Jackie had some issues and all that. However, he played 151 games for Brooklyn, 297 batting average, scored 175 hits, driving in 48 RBIs. He did lead the National League in sacrifice hits and stolen bases, winning the Rookie of the Year award. Robinson would move to second base after Stanky was traded to Boston. So the Boston Braves. So he did okay. And the good news for black players was that many players would enter the leagues in 1948. Larry Doby breaking the American League color barrier. Satchel Paige was there. Dodgers had 3 black players, including Don Newcomb. Anyway, in 1949, Robinson turned to Hall of Famer George Sisler, who was an advisor to the Dodgers, for batting help. And he would spend hours at batting team trying to hit the ball to right field and to anticipate a fastball. And it worked. Robinson's batting average went from 296 to a very high 342 in 1949. Stealing 37 bases, second in doubles and triples in the National League, and got 124 RBIs, winning the MVP, which was amazing and all that. The Dodgers did lose in 1949. Yeah, lost in 1949, the final and all that. Robinson actually had a film biography called The Jackie Robinson Story, and Jackie actually played himself in that one in 1950. So anyway, it worked out. However, Dodgers co-owner Walter O'Malley figured that Jackie was Ricky's prima donna and all that. However, O'Malley would get full control of the franchise, as Brent Rickey would become GM of the Pirates. But anyway, it was hard to believe. Jackie Robinson was part of the Brooklyn team that choked the 1951 pennant to the New York Giants. So anyway, he tried his best and all that. He did fantastic and all that. His abilities would be diminished. Well, I mean, he came into the league at age 28, and that's usually your peak. Anyway, Robinson would help the Dodgers win the 1955 World Series. But his individual things at 250, batting average at 256 was one of the lowest. He was moved to the outfield and third base, mostly because Jim Gilliam was established at second base. Robinson didn't play a lot. Well, he was 36. Jackie Robinson did not take part in Game 7 of the 1955 World Series, which the Dodgers in New York won 2-0 thanks to Don Newcomb's. No, it's not John Newcomb, sorry. Johnny Padres' shutout. Robinson didn't play because Jim Gillian was at second and Don Hoke at third. But Jackie Robinson still was memorable for that steal of home plate. It was 1955, wasn't it? I don't remember. Unfortunately, he would exhibit the effects of diabetes and didn't really want to play or manage professional baseball after 1956. He struck out to end Game 7 of the 1956 World Series. And then the Dodgers would trade Jackie to the Giants, the New York Giants, for Dick Little and $35,000 cash. It was never completed. Robinson agreed to be executive with the Chuck Full and Nuts Company. Anyway, so Jackie Robinson retired, but man, his legacy lives on. I mean, it broke the baseball's color line and helped blacks move migrating to the north for political clout and all that. Martin Luther King said that he was a legend and symbol in his own time. Amazing. He only played 10 seasons in the major leagues. If he came in as a 21-year-old, he would have played more and may have made more of an impact. But you know what? Still, he played in 6 World Series and only one, but still, he got to the World Series. Most people would kill to be in the World Series, if you will. He was into the all-century team in Major League Baseball, obviously. Why wouldn't you? So yeah, there was a lot of pictures, a lot of movies based on it and all that. Meanwhile, Chadwick Boseman, may rest in peace, played him to a T in the 2013 movie 42. It was amazing to see his work, and of course, sadly for Boseman, he died. But yeah, he was good. All that. Jackie retired from baseball at age 37, but he was diagnosed with diabetes, which his brothers also suffered from. Robinson adopted an insulin injection regimen, but because medicine wasn't that advanced back in the 1950s, he couldn't prevent the deterioration of his physical condition. Yeah, so anyway, he was elected on the first ballot of the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1962 and would become an analyst for ABC's baseball stuff in 1965. In 1972, he actually was part-time commentator for Expo games. I did not know that. So Jackie would be on Montreal TV, I guess with, I would say, Dave Van Horn, but that can't be right. But anyway, the Dodgers on June 4th, 1972, retired his number 42, becoming the third Dodger to do so. Roy Campanella's 39 and Sandy Koufax's 32 were retired. It's weird how Campanella was retired before Jackie, but anyway, Campanella had his accident, but didn't matter. So anyway, Robinson was the vice president of personnel for Chuck Full and Nuts from 57 to 64. And would found Freedom National Bank, a black-owned and operated bank in Harlem. So Robinson was active in politics throughout his pro life and called himself a political independent. Robinson did not like how the major leagues had a lack of minority managers and central office personnel. So anyway, he actually threw out the ceremony of the first pitch before Game 2 of the World Series between Oakland and Cincy. And he was happy about that. Unfortunately, though, he died 9 days later, which was sad. I mean, I can't remember. What's the World Series? I think the World Series was still on by the time he died. Let me just see here. The last game was the 22nd, so they played 7 games in a 9-day span. Yeah, so 22nd. So 2 days after the World Series ended, he died. Cleveland would give Frank Robinson their managerial post in 1974. That was just all that. Well, anyway, it didn't matter. Rachel Robinson became a career in academic nursing and was assistant professor at the Yale School of Nursing. It was part of the Freedom National Bank until close to 1990. Jackie had 3 children. Jackie Jr., who died in 1971, predating his daughter, his own father's death by only a year. Sharon Robinson and David Robinson, not the basketball star for San Antonio, but Sharon and David are still alive. Jackie Jr. had emotional trouble during his childhood and had special education. And was wounded. He served in Vietnam and was wounded in 1965, but unfortunately he had drug problems based on the war and PTSD possibly. However, he became a counselor at a institution and was killed in a car crash at age 24. Jackie died of a heart attack at his home in Connecticut at age 53. Only 53. So sad, eh? Anyway. It doesn't matter. Well, Sharon Robinson is a midwife educator, director of educational programming for MLB, and authored 2 books about her father. And David has 10 children, but is a social activist in Tanzania. Robinson was very popular and all that. Part of the 100 most influential people of the 20th century. Yeah, the accolades were huge and all that. In 1997, on the 50th anniversary of Jackie's first appearance, Bud Selig made the big call that number 42 would be retired league-wide. However, he did say, kind of like what the Bill Russell number 6 thing is right now, because NBA retired number 6. But just like that, baseball said they would grandfather any player wearing 42, such as Mo Vaughn, Butch Husky, or Mo Rivera. If you wear 42 and all that, you're allowed to keep wearing it. But once you're done, that number is retired and all that. Mo Rivera was the last player to wear 42 back in 2013. Yeah, only Wayne Gretzky's number 99 and Bill Russell's number 6 are retired league-wide in any of the major sports. And people think that 21 should be retired for Roberto Clemente, but it's not happening. However, on April 15th, starting in 2004, each team would wear the number 42 on their players' jerseys and all that. Although it would be kind of confusing because, you should have a nameplate because there's some people that look the same that, who's who. But it happens. So anyway, he's got many accolades and all of that. Robinson's Montreal home actually had a plaque placed by the U.S. government to honor the end of segregation in baseball. It was at 8232 Gaspé Avenue, where Jerry Park used to be. Anyway, it's just amazing and all of that. Jackie loved Montreal and all that, knowing that Montreal gave her and her husband some great times and all that. Well, it's Canada. What do you expect? Anyway, UCLA would retire number 42 across all university sports. And all that. It was amazing and all that. So yeah, civil rights leader, great baseball player, you name it, he did it. And that's Jackie Robinson to a T. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.